welcome everybody to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Abu Dhabi for the finale, for the final race of the season, a sprint race here in Dubai, and what a race it's going to be. Sorry, I'm just looking at some stuff and trying to get everything sorted. I know the race is still going on, but unfortunately we've got no other option but to start, because I know I've just seen somebody say, you know, if we'd have delayed the race, they would have raced. But we can't. We physically can't delay it any longer because we've got Tier 1. This race is going to take roughly 2 hours. So we just can't delay it any further, unfortunately. I tried to delay it for a couple of minutes and stuff, but unfortunately we can't then punish the drivers that have turned up and are sat waiting patiently to race. So unfortunately we've had to roll with it, but here we go. Yeah, I need to make sure that I've got all the systems open. Yeah, there we go. Is it collecting the data? It is indeed. This doesn't seem like it's collecting as much data as it usually does. A rolling start. What a load of crap. How are we doing, Mason? What's going on, Pele? How are we all doing? So, this is it. 18 drivers on the grid at the moment. We do have Tapapi still joining. But here we go. So we need to bring the track up. I just want to check something. So Gertmeister is in. I want to check something because I'm trying to use something and I don't know if it's working yet. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm trying to see. I was trying to bring this up, but it should automatically connect to the F1 game. But for some reason mine's not connecting, and I don't know why. I'm hoping that the overlays work. We'll see. No, nothing's working. What is going on? That's really strange. Yeah, nothing's working. Oh, interesting. None of the overlays are working again. I don't know what's going on. I'm paying for the overlays and none of them bloody work. So that is Real Astonami back into the pit lane. I don't know why, but he retires from qualifying every single week. And I don't know why. So Honda VTEC is on a line. Yeah, literally none of the overlays working. Not even the where it shows you the track at the top. That's not even working either. That's really, really interesting. It says it's waiting for data, but it was on the 26 version. We need the 25 version. There we go. So I wonder if this will work now. Bear with me, guys. I just want to check something. I want to see if this works. The race engineer thing. Because it gives you so much. It does work. Look at that. It gives you so much data from the drivers. That's brilliant. So we can pull up the live track map, the weather information. So Ladno Cavini in the Red Bull is currently on pole position, but not for long. H Drift comes through, the McLaren driver taking pole position. But yeah, how good's that? So that's definitely something that we can use in the future. It's probably something that I'll use just to the side. So I'll use it over here. And then obviously I just need to get everything up, get all the overlays up, and just bear with me. I'm nearly there, guys. I do apologise. There we go. I've got everything up. So let me know if the audio's not okay, guys. Let me know if the audio's not okay. I am ready to go now. So Jennifer Lee, the man fighting for the Drivers' Championship, is on provisional pole for the Sprint Races Championship rival of Vicious Vicar in the Sauber, currently in P8. And Mad Riot, the two Constructors World Champions in P8 and P9. And then you've got Forza Ferrari. So let's see what Forza Ferrari can do in the Red Bull. So just using that battery, yellow flag is waving. Oh, and it's a little bit of a slip coming out of there with the rears. I ain't far off pole, I know, Kev. Let me know if the audio is okay, guys, please. Because I won't be able to hear it if the game and all that. Nimble Cat in the Alpine coming around the final couple of corners, a little bit deep at Latifi corner. But it's okay for the Alpine, who will be racing in Tier 3 next season. Coming around turn 16, runs wide to the line, and Nimble Cat goes provisional pole, a 1:23.9. Nimble Lion has arrived. Wow, what a lap from Nimble Cat. So, El Wizard, the Portuguese driver, who will also be racing in Tier 3 next season. So, a standing start. You're not going to be able to get any overtakes on this restart here in Formula 1. All the drivers are in the pit lane literally for one reason, and that's to watch the restart. Oh, it's a standing start. Brilliant. Is it a standing start? I don't know. So, El Wizard goes P14 and 135. All the drivers are now just watching. And I'll forgive you guys for watching the Formula 1 restart. Let me just try and get to Pappy back in. Pappy on PlayStation. If Pappy's on PlayStation, I'll try and invite you off the PlayStation. Oh, that's a good start by Lewis. But it's a rolling start. Pappy 86 is on PlayStation. Let me just try and invite him on the PlayStation, guys. Bear with. Bear with me. Let me try and invite him. Right, I've sent him a couple of invites on PlayStation. There we go. He's in. My boy is in. Big up to Pappy. Right, 3.5 minutes to go here in the sprint qualifying. This is where it gets very interesting indeed. We are on board with Kevin Gamer in that Williams. And he has invalidated it. So we go on board with Doug in the Aston Martin. Still a championship fight on our hands. Oh, Andy Jen is out. So Andy has crashed it. He's crashed it at turn 3. Wow. So Andy Mack, after setting a lap, has crashed it. So we are on board with Doug. Let's see what the Aston Martin driver can do here in Abu Dhabi for the finale. Andy's invalidated it. The Mercedes of Shining Swarm is on his way out. We have a McLaren. Look at this for our driver that is retiring today. Look at the billboards. Look at the billboards. It's our driver of the day, Vicious Vicar, on his retirement on the billboards there. Big up Vicious Vicar. And Doug's out. Doug is out in the pit lane. He's not going to be able to improve. So Slow P Gamer has gone purple, sector 1. He's throwing it all down on the line. Ladno Cravini fastest through sector 2. And then Forza Ferrari. So it's all on the Ferrari of Slow P Gamer, who will also be racing in Tier 3 next season. A real interesting exchange. And he's gone purple once again. This looks like a very quick lap from Slow P Gamer. And the Scuderia coming through turn 13. Through turn 14. Back onto the throttle. You've got to be so careful not to lose the back end. 50 seconds of qualifying to go. Slow P Gamer will be the first of the final runners, and the Ferrari driver takes provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. Then coming a McLaren to start his lap. Mad Riot is up to P4. And Vicious Vicar as well coming through, the championship contender to the line. Vicious Vicar goes P4 at 1:24.1, half a second behind Jennifer Lee. Jennifer Lee showing that true pace. Kevin Gamer is into the pit lane. He is not going to be able to improve. Shining Swarm has invalidated it and he is into the pit lane. So is Real Ashton Army. Tapapi weren't able to get out on track. That's unfortunate for him. Forza Ferrari is on a real slow lap. This is not going to do well for him. Forza is not going to improve. And he made it to the line. Wow. Ace Drift goes P2 at 1:23.5. Mad Riot will be next. He goes into the pit lane. But this is extremely close between the two championship contenders. Here comes Gert Meiser. And you can see Jennifer Lee and Vicious Vicar, the points difference, 387 and 359 going into this final race. 28 points separating them, could have been less. And Jennifer Lee goes into the pit lane. But I'm not surprised that they prioritised the constructors, I'm really not. Mason in the Aston Martin is also not going to improve. I think that is it. I tell you, the Williams is improving though, and he is on a lap. So, Maddie in the Williams is still on a lap. He's got the Red Bull of Forza Ferrari behind him, who also made it to the line, but he's not improving. I'm just going to call him Arna. Arna, 88, coming around turn 14 now, and he's just having to slow down. That will cost him. And when you go too deep into that corner, it really does hinder your lap time. And Arna will go to the line. He'll stay P9. Forza Ferrari will stay P7. Slow P Gamer will take pole position in the final race of Tier 4 here in Abu Dhabi. It is all over now. 19 drivers on the grid. Slow P Gamer takes pole. So I just need to put the stats in. So there you have it, Slow P Gamer. Let me put the stats in. Ace Drift, Jennifer Lee, Nimblecat, Vicious Vicar, Mad Riot. Then comes Forza Ferrari, Ladno Cravini, and then P9 of Mad. Is it Mad? He should already be in there, but it doesn't look like it. Oh, there he is. What country? Denmark. I need to put that in. Kevin Gamer, Wizzy. Who was the Aston Martin? So I have to do this now because it's really confusing to go back and do it afterwards. Otherwise, then I have to try and watch the stream back to grab the everything. So here we go. The moment we've all been waiting for. Eight attempts off my future teammate. Who's your teammate? Is it Slow P Gamer? So obviously we'll get the viewers coming in after the Formula One's finished. Unfortunately, we had to start. We couldn't wait any longer. So it just it is what it is. Just doing a sound check. So the Aston Martin is Mason. Wait, was his name Mason 61YT and he's changed it to Mason 92? This is, you know what, this app is gone really bad and really confusing recently. I think we've got too many drivers on it. I genuinely believe that's what it is. I mean, we do have 500 drivers on the app. So here we go. What a race. You know what, realistically, if we could get window capture right, and we could add a source, and then we could add a new source, window capture 1, and we could capture that, right? So we've caught that, and then we could bring it up whenever we needed it. So like, if I put it here, and whenever we wanted to bring it up, we could bring it up. But I'm not going to do that now. Here we go. They're all lining up. So it would come up like this. Well, it should do, but anyway. Here we go. This is it for the very final time for the sprint race here in Abu Dhabi at Formula 7 Racing. And it is lights out and away we go. Nimble Cat with an incredible start. Already through 2 competitors. Is he going to go for the triple overtake in Abu Dhabi? Nearly gets swiped out by Slow P Gamer, but Nimble is up to P2. And there goes Mad Riot and Jennifer Lee. Ladnock Ravidi is through as well. Forza Ferrari. Vicious Vicar is down to P9. It's Bedlam in the back, and that's Kevin Gamer that is off the track. And so is Gert Miser in the Racing Bull. Forza Ferrari makes a move on his teammate. Ladnock Ravidi and Forza Ferrari battling it out in the 2 Red Bulls. Nimble Cat still chasing down the leader. There goes Ladnock Ravini, the Croatian driver, battling it out with the Scotsman. But Forza goes later on the brakes and nearly into the back of the championship leader of Jennifer Lee. And Nimble is getting ever so closer to Slow P Gamer. Wow, what a start. Nimble around the outside of the Scuderia. Here comes Nimble. He wants to end it with a victory here in Abu Dhabi. That was close. Slow P Gamer lagged a little bit, but Nimble Cat is into the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the sprint race. Slow P Gamer is down to P2. Nimble starting on the median compounds. Anna and El Wizard, a Portuguese driver, getting through on the Danishman. Mason in the Aston Martin, competing with Real Ashton Army behind him. Then comes Tapapi and Doug. Nimble Cat is flying. That is what we wanted to see. Kevin Gamer on Andy Mack coming out of the final corner. Who is going to come out on top here? And then they go wheel to wheel through turn 1. Kevin Gamer and Andy Mack just having a little coming together just briefly there as they come through turn 3 and 4. Jennifer Lee is doing what he needs to do, and if it stays like this, Jennifer Lee will be champion before the feature race. So Slow P Gamer will get that DRS, but he is not close enough to make the move on this occasion. So DRS is enabled. Here we go. Ace Drift is going to announce himself to the front of the stage. Here comes Slow P Gamer again around the outside of Nimblecat, but he cuts right in front of him. That is ridiculous. How can you not see the driver there? That is really poor. I mean, you could see that for days. There was no adjustment from Slow P Gamer to even adjust his line whatsoever for the inside car. That was crazy. They need to be so much more careful and aware than that. Slow P Gamer is now your race leader, but at what cost has he just put himself in the lead? Ace Drift in P2, Jennifer Lee is now in P3, then Forza Ferrari and Nimblecat. But I must say, that is one of the most, what's the name for it, oblivious incidents that I've seen this season. It was just like, why have you turned in there? That was crazy stuff from the drivers. But it is, when it happens at 100 miles an hour, what can you do sometimes? But that just seems like it was a little bit, you know, you've got to be a little bit aware there. You've got to just adjust your line if there's a driver on your inside. So Ace Drift will now compete with Slow P Gamer for the lead. And down in towards turn 6, into the left and right hander. Then we'll get that DRS. The McLaren driver will get the better exit than the Ferrari. Slow P Gamer seems to be struggling on them rears, and the McLaren is coming. And as they go around, they're going to do deja vu from the last lap. But look at this. That is what you've got to do. You've got to adjust your line and give them space on the inside. You can't just turn off in front of them. And Slow P Gamer with some good defending there. But Ace Drift, obviously, with some nice racing also. Forza Ferrari on the back of Jennifer Lee. Then comes Nimblecat, Ladnock Ravine, Mad Riot, Shining Swarm, El Wizzy, and Vicious Vicar in the Sauber, the championship contender. And it is falling out of his hands, but it is his retirement race here this evening. And Jennifer Lee sets the fastest lap of anybody. The man from Hong Kong. So, what a race we have seen so far. I don't know why, but the stream is coming up. Oh, there we go. Sorry, itself out now. It's coming up as tier 2. So, Ace Drift will try again on Slow P Gamer. And then we've got a few of the drivers fighting at the back. And that was the Mercedes of Honda VTEC. There goes to Pappy. On the other Aston Martin of Doug Gertmeiser at the back. He must have already pitted. And here comes Slow P Gamer again. And look at this. The McLaren will go around the outside. And that is how it's done. Just leave the space. Don't cut in too early. And wheel to wheel around turn 9. And Jennifer Lee is still there watching on. Forza Ferrari Nimblecat, whose tyres will not be in the best shape now because of that slide. Yeah, I'm looking at his rears, and they're a little bit more worn than the drivers in front. Especially them of Slow P Gamer, who's on the hard compounds. He's going for a completely different strategy. Sorry, guys. So, Ace Drift to Slow P Gamer, Jennifer Lee, Forza Ferrari, Nimble, and Lad Nokravini. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we'll run with that. The Red Bull driver on the back of the Alpine. Then he's got Mad Riot in the Sauber. 1 to 7. Remember, points go down to P10. If it stays like this, the championship would be over. Slow P Gamer, can he come back? He is going up to tier 3 next season. And the exit wasn't as well as he would have wanted. And now here comes Jennifer Lee. And he is arriving. He wants the extra positions. He wants the championship. He'll have put the practice in. And Nimble Cat is now fighting as well with the Red Bull of Forza Ferrari. And now here comes Lad as well. And it's the 2 Red Bulls. Nimble Cat in that sandwich as they go through turn 12. And Nimble Cat knows what he's got to do. Gap to the leader is only 3 seconds. Slow P Gamer chasing him down. Nimble Cat doing a good job. That is a yellow flag, sector 2. Green flag cleared up. Ladnock Ravini is round. Ladnock Ravini is around, and the Red Bull driver, not sure what happened there, but the Red Bull is around and down to P13. That will move everybody up a position. A real shame for him. We still have the feature race to go. So, Slow P Gamer all over the back of Ace Drift. He'll get that DRS. And he'll use the overtake. And here he comes, and he's going to make light work. Wow, he nearly goes into the back of the papaya. And Ace Drift nearly ended up as roadkill there. Kevin Gamer is out. Kevin Gamer is out, but he's not crashed it. He's crashed it, I think, going into the pit lane. He has. He's crashed it going into the pit lane. Green flag. We're going racing again. So, Ace Drift is trying to attack back on Slow P Gamer. Jennifer Lee is there. Nimble Cat is through on Forza Ferrari. The Red Bull driver, will he go back up the inside? Here comes the Sauber of Mad Riot. What a beautiful aerial view here in Abu Dhabi. Nimble Cat is back up to P4, but 3 seconds behind the leaders. Oh, and that's the Red Bull. Forza Ferrari loses the car and into the wall he goes. Was that a mistake from himself, or was there a collision there? I'm not quite sure, but the Red Bull goes into the wall. Vicious Vicar, who is still in this championship fight, is into P8. So back on board with the leaders. Remember, we're probably going to see one of these get a penalty for the incident at the start of the race. So a podium would still be on here for the likes of Nimble, Mad Riot, Forza, El Wizzy and the McLaren chasing down the Red Bull, who will have damage. Let's have a look if he does have damage. He does. He's got that missing end plate. And now here comes the McLaren on the Red Bull down in towards turn 6. And the Papaya is in front. Vicious Vicar will be patient. What about Ace Drift on Slow P Gamer? All the way down to turn 9. He is not close enough to make the move. He'll stay back for now. But Mad Riot will go through on Nimble Cat. And the Sauber is up to P4. And the racing is amazing. This is what we wanted to see for the final time here. Vicious Vicar with Forza Ferrari and Shining Swan behind him. It has been a really good start to this race. A really good sprint. Here comes Ace Drift. Yeah, that's not working. I was going to try and get that working, guys, but yeah, it doesn't work. Okie dokie. I wanted you to see the date that I see. It's really good. It's really good. So, can he get the move? There goes Shining Swan on Forza Ferrari. Remember, Forza with that damage, nothing he can do. He's a bit of a sitting duck. And so is Slow P Gamer. Jennifer Lee is starting to catch up. The front three separated by a couple of attempts. Slow P Gamer is losing the rears. Look how much he's struggling. And Jennifer Lee will see that. Let's have a look at the tyres. What is going on? 39% for Slow P Gamer on the rears. But the funny thing is Slow P Gamer is on the hard compound. It's surprising to see him struggling this much on that tyre compound. Nimble Cat is back on the rear of El Wizzy. So what a Great exchange here, and there goes Mason in the Aston Martin with Lad Nokravini, who will send him ice skating through turn 14. But Mason just staying in front. Has he got a penalty? He has. 3 seconds for Mason. 18 drivers still in this sprint race. What a battle. And I think there was a little overtake there. Was that Nimble being overtaken by Vicious Vicar? It was. Wow. So, as it stands, the championship would still be open by 1 point. No, 28 points. He would score 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So, yeah, championship would be over. Slow P Gamer is now back into the race lead. Jennifer Lee needs to stay in position. And Vicious Vicar needs another position to stay in this, and Ace Drift will go through on Slow P Gamer. Jennifer Lee just staying where he is. And as it stands, it would still be Jennifer Lee crowned champion after the sprint race. And I don't think it's going to change. We've not seen, obviously we've seen the Salvers work together in terms of constructors, but they've not really sort of made any changes when it comes to the Drivers' Championship. It's just been sort of solo racing in a team, which has been amazing this season. That's why they're Constructors World Champions. But I don't see any changes here in Abu Dhabi from Mad Riot here. I think it will just play out like this. And it looks like Jennifer Lee will be crowned champion. If Vicious Vickers went in front of Mad Riot, would it stay open? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So yes, it would stay open, but it would mean that Jennifer would have to DNF and Vicar would have to win. And so here comes Slow P Gamer on the final lap, and the Ferrari driver on lap 10 of 10 here in the sprint race is back into the lead of this Grand Prix. Can Ace Drift get the better exit? Now he will just empty the tank all the way down to turn 8. Here we go. He's going to try and catch him up. This is his only opportunity. He's going to have to go out wide. Ace Drift, Slow P Gamer will squeeze him. Can he switch it back up the inside? He's holding on, and Slow P Gamer will hold on to the position. Nimblecat can't catch up to Shining Swarm. And that is it. Slow P Gamer has done enough, but he's made a mistake. Up the inside goes Ace Drift. Remember, this is all prior to the Stewart's interventions, of course. But Slow P Gamer is going to come through to win the sprint here in Abu Dhabi. And that means that Jennifer Lee is going to come through. And Jennifer Lee is your world champion of Formula 7 Racing Tier 4. The man from Hong Kong is your world champion in the sprint race. He didn't need to wait for the feature. It is all over. Jennifer Lee crowned champion for the very first time. The sprint race is all he needed. What a drive as well. Mad Riot in P4, Vicious Vicar in P6. But what a drive from Jennifer in P2. That was a great race to watch, by the way. A really good race to watch. So there you have it. Let me just oh, that's not right. That's not right either. That's not right. Right, there we go. So I just need to put these down. Bear with me. Jenny, Slow P Gamer, Big Shines, One Nimble, MP9, P10, Real Aston Army. Why he doesn't come up. Forza Lad, Andy Mack, Josh Douglas, Honda VTEC, MP16, is that right? Kevin Gamer, Kurt Miser, yeah, that's fine. I think that's right anyway. I'll double check it. Look, this is what I wanted to show you guys. This is what I've got on my screen, and then it's like a race engineer. Look at all that data. And then you can just go on board, obviously with whoever you need to go on board with. It tells you the tyres, the car information, the track, the weather, just everything. It's so good. But I was trying to bring it up on the screen, you see, but without actually having to leave it on the screen. But yeah, it's cool. Right, 18 minutes of qualifying to go. But yeah, I have that on my screen here, so it just gives me a little bit of information. So, we move on to the feature race. Whilst the qualifying is just going to get underway, guys, I just need to go and grab a drink. I really need a drink. I forgot to grab one before we started, so bear with me. So I am back, here we go, back racing. And it is our Wizzy that has taken provisional pole here in the feature sprint, in the feature qualifying. Mason is in P2, then Kevin Gamer. We have a lot of drivers out on track at the moment though, and one of them being the real Aston Army, who doesn't usually qualify, but he is today. And then the Williams has gone on that provisional pole now. You can see. Oh, the bloody... that would just happen right now, wouldn't it? The keyboard's run out of battery. I was looking at getting an upgrade for the PC, but it's going to take a while. There's just so much so many things that we do at the moment that just costs. Right, let me turn this back on. There we go. Sorry, let me just set this back up. There we go. Sorry guys if that's down your ear. You are pole, man. You are pole at the moment. Enjoy it. If you there goes Ace Drift, Mads, if you want your name to come up, by the way, because at the moment your name doesn't come up, go onto your telemetry and put show your name, your public ID or whatever it is, and it'll show your name. So there goes Mads just getting out of the way, and then the Ferrari coming through. Ladnock Ravini in the Red Bull. And now Wizzy in the pit lane, then you've got the real Aston Army who is on a lap. And that is Ace Drift. That's gone even quicker. That is absolutely crazy. Mads has left the session. Where are you going, Mads? He's in the chat, but he's left the session. I don't know what's happened. Can't you see it? Internet. Oh, your internet's gone. Oh, his internet's gone. That is... Oh, is that the Haas again that's out? I think it was just in the pit lane though. As Andy Mack has retired, and there is a Williams off the track there as well. And that is the Williams of Arna. I know he's in the pit lane now. Sorry if I block you, my internet's gone. I don't understand what you're saying, to be honest with you. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand. So a couple of the drivers coming to the line. Shining Swarm, who has picked up the pace recently. Wow. Yeah, it's man in it, Forza. So Slow P Gamer currently in P2. Oh, and he's kept it valid there. I thought that was just over the line, but it wasn't. And then you've got Shiny Swarm who's behind, and then you've got Kevin Gamer that is next on a lap. I don't know where Kevin Gamer is actually. Ah, there he is in P14. So Kevin Gamer and Gert Miser. So, yellow flag is briefly waved. Vicious Vickers in the pit lane still. And then we've got Doug in the Aston Martin. No, it wasn't a bad lap at all, Mason. I mean, yours is a tricky one, Forza, because at one point you were nearly tier 2 pace. And I don't know, I just... Looking at some of your races and looking at the data that we had, you were like third fastest in tier 4 in just like data alone. And obviously you had some really good races. If we've made a mistake, then we've made a mistake. But I just never thought you were tier 4 anyway. I mean, you were always well quicker than me. And well quicker than Udi. Even when you got dropped down to tier 4, you were quicker than probably the bottom 5 of tier 3. And it's a tough one. It is a tough one. But I remember when you was nearly tier 2. Kevin Gamer is on his exit out of the pit lane, and then we got the Mercedes as well now. Honda VTEC. Yeah, big up 2023, tier 2. Tier 2 Forza has returned. But what I'm trying to say is the pace is there. You've got the pace. I know some people get slower and some people get quicker, but if you've ever raced in a quicker tier, I always think that the pace is there. The ability to get to that pace again is there. Do you know what I mean? So this is really close. Slopey Gamer and Ace Drift battling it for pole position. Jennifer Lee is there, shining swan from out of nowhere recently. Forza Ferrari. And then Mads, Ladnock Gravino, Wizit, and then the Ferrari of Real Aston Army, Mason 92, and then Doug, Vicious Vicar. And then, yeah, Doug, we all, mate. You've got a real good chance next season, you and Slow P Gamer. So, the Mercedes into the pit lane. Nimble Cat in the Alpine, let's see what he can do, but he is still in the pit lane with 6.5 minutes to go. Yeah, Mads with Mads is Anna Nimble. The guy typing in the chat. Oh, he's left again. There we go. So 6 minutes of qualifying to go. Just collided with Manal. He was trying to race me, got a ban. Now he's left the game. Mads, what are you doing? Yeah, Reese. I would never compare myself to Reese Forza. Reese is just ridiculous. So, the Real Aston Army is back out on a lap. He's slightly down on his lap time. Slow P Gamer is just behind him. So both Ferraris are out with 5 seconds to go. Down in towards turn 6. And just hugging the apex over the curb at turn 7. Back onto the throttle with that DRS open. In towards turn 9. Purple sector 2. And he went from half a tenth down to half a tenth up. 5 minutes to go. Yeah, Mads, you've lagged out bad, mate. You're not even in the lobby at the moment. So, Real Aston Army coming around sector 3 at turn 15. In towards turn 16. And to the line. And there we have it, the Real Aston Army up to P7. Just make sure, yeah, that it is the right time, yeah. So Real Aston Army, and then what about Slow P Gamer? He will just start his flying lap now. He's backed out. He's backed out. He's 11 1,000ths behind. No, I think he was on a lap, and he qualified 11 1,000ths behind Ace Drift, who is showing some incredible pace here. They are all showing up, and Nimble Cat goes P5. The Alpine driver who was sideswiped from the Ferrari in the sprint after leading the race is back up to P5 for the feature race. And he is showing some extra horsepower in this race this evening. And that's what we want to see. Now all of the drivers will start to filter out of the pit lane for these one lap shootouts. Look at them all now. All raring to go. I think this is one of the longest pit lanes as well, isn't it? Oh, Mad Riot. A collision with Slow P Gamer. 5-place grid penalty for the Sauber driver. What has happened there? Yellow flag sector 2. So Vicious Vicar as well is just behind. And he will be next to the line. And then we've got Tapapi and Ladno Cravini. Honda VTEC is retired, but here comes Vicious Vicar to the line. Vicious Vicar goes P3. Ladno Cravini will be next. Here he comes through sector 3. We do have Tapapi that will be first though. I don't know if he's on a line. Slow P Gamer will not be able to improve from this point on. So around turn 15 and 16. And the Red Bull, the man from Croatia, will come to the checkered flag and he will go up to P7. It's really good, this telemetry that we've got, because it tells you who's on the lap and in what order. So H Drift is now on a lap. Well, he's on an out lap, but it tells you who's basically in what order they are on the field. Instead of having to look at the map in the bottom right and try and decide, it's got a little bar here and it tells me. So 13 of the 20 drivers out on track. A minute and a half remaining. Vicious Vicar and Nimble on a lap. Real Tsunami has retired. And there is an Aston Martin also on a lap. Is that? Is it Mason? It's not Mason. It is Doug. So Doug is on a lap as he comes around turn 14. Mad Riot is retired. He will not be able to improve. Andy's got a 5-place grid penalty. Doug will come out of the final corner. And he goes to the line. He will stay P13. Tapapi will also be next. Gert Miser, Ace Drift. Tapapi will go into the pit lane. He will not improve. Vicious Vicar has retired. Shining Swarm, who is currently in P5, is improving on his lap time. So let's just ride on board and just have a little look at Shining Swarm, who his improvement over the last few weeks has been extraordinary. So Shining Swarm went up to P2. What about Jennifer Lee? And Ace Drift, a 1:23.703, separated by 11 1/1000ths of a second. Nimble will go P6. Ladno Cravini in P7. El Wizzy will be next in the McLaren. I don't think he's going to improve. He's not going to improve. Forza Ferrari goes into the pit lane. Mads in P10 in the Williams. Kevin Gamer is completed. That is it. Qualifying is over. It is Ace Drift. Ace Drift has taken pole position here in Abu Dhabi for the very final time in Tier 4. Ace Drift will take pole, and 0.8 of a second separate the top 12 drivers here in Tier 4. That is quite close considering it's the bottom tier, and that's where we've been trying to get to. I'm really happy with that. P11 and P12 with the exact same time, a 1:24.512. Wow. But yeah, that's where we've been wanting to get to, and I think we've done that pretty well this season. Tier 4, super competitive. So let me just get the stats here, bear with me. I think it's pretty much sorted it all out, to be honest. So we move on to the feature race. And Jennifer Lee had the fastest Sector 2 time of anybody. And Ace Drift had the fastest Sector 1 and Sector 3 times. I think that's what it was anyway, it's gone now. Yeah. So, formation lap is underway. So Ace Drift, who starts on pole position. Mason, maybe, I reckon a few people would have selected the harder compound. I mean, I select harder compound on probably 9 out of 10 races. Yeah, 90% of the races I'll select harder compounds, only because I'm always racing at the back anyway. So here we go, just getting ready. Mads is a DSQ, so is Doug. I don't even know if Mads is in the lobby actually. He just caused a crash and left, and I've not heard of him since. So here we go. This is it. For the very final time here in Tier 4, a lot of these drivers are very final time racing, or very final time in this tier, and a big shout out to Vicious Vicar. We go, the man, the legend, the man that everybody respects and has a lot of time for. I wish you the very best on your retirement race, Vicious Vicar, and good luck. Here we go for the very final time here in Tier 4 for Vicious Vicar. And it is lights out and away we go. Ladnokravini is already through on Vicious Vicar. The Red Bull is absolutely flying into turn 1. There's a Red Bull, there's a Williams, that is Kevin Gamer that is sliding down in towards turn 1. Forza Ferrari is through on Jennifer Lee. The Haas driver may be caught up in a little bit of trouble. He's getting swarmed by Nimble Cat and Vicious Vicar, who are side by side going down in towards turn 5. Up the inside of the Haas goes Nimble. Here comes Mason 92 in the Aston Martin with Real Aston Army on his tail. Doug in the other Aston Martin. Gert Meiser, Mad Riot all making progress, but here comes Forza Ferrari and Ladnokravini on El Wizzy going down in towards turn 6. Later on the brakes he goes. Wheel to wheel go the Red Bull and the McLaren, but it is the papaya rules as he comes out in front. Nimble Cat and Vicious Vicar are going at it for one final time here in Abu Dhabi. The two Red Bulls are in really strong positions as we go down in towards turn 9, but El Wizzy defends Vicious Vicar around the outside of Nimble Cat, who will come back, who will prevail. It is Vicious Vicar that comes out in front of that exchange. Doug goes through on his teammate as Mason 92 is demoted to P11. What a race start. So Forza Ferrari on the back of his teammate. Slow P Gamer is not so slow as he chases down Ace Drift in the McLaren. There's still all to play for. Lap 2 of 29. I'm looking at the time. I forgot we started an hour later, haven't we? So we've got just a little break before Tier 1 starts. So, Slow P Gamer all over the back, and he's gone deep and nearly hit the back of Ace Drift. He needs to be a little bit careful, Slow P Gamer here. And just be a little bit mindful of the other drivers. And here comes El Wizzy on the back of Shining Swarm, who's in a podium place. Who would have thought we'd been saying that at the start of the season? Shining Swarm in a podium position. Vicious Vicar looking to get an overtake on his championship rival of Jennifer Lee. These two going for one last dance here at the Yas Marina circuit. Ladnokravini in the Red Bull in that DRS train, but look at the straight line speed, and he will go around the outside of the Portuguese driver. Here we go, Red Bull and McLaren round 2. And that is to Papi and Gert Meiser, the two teammates, having a little battle between themselves. Gert Meiser has lagged out. Hopefully he can get back in. Mason 92 being overtaken by the Real Aston Armies to go down in towards turn 12. And then Mad Riot just having to stay behind him momentarily. I think Gert Meiser will get back in. And you've got Mad Riot pushing Mason 92 through the corners as if to say, right, get a move on, I'm coming through. And the Sauber driver down in P13 at the moment, the Tier 3 World Champion from Season 8, potentially. Maybe season, maybe a bit earlier, I don't know. So, El Wizzy in the McLaren on the back of Shining Swarm. So, Slow P Gamer, he's going to go for the move up the inside. And the Ferrari takes the lead of the Grand Prix once again. Ace Drift will try the undercut. He'll go up the inside of the Ferrari. He'll get the DRS, and it should be to return the favour now. And it is light work when it is like that. Slow P Gamer just pulling out. And there goes Nimble Cat on Vicious Vicar again. These two, Mad Riot on Mason 92. Finally, Mad Riot goes through in the other Sauber. And he is now in a little bit of free air. Not much here in Abu Dhabi, but he's got a little bit just to run into. And then you've got the Ferrari. Slow P Gamer on the back of Ace Drift. Mads has been DSQ'd as well from this race. And I'm pretty sure he was asking for a full-time seat as well. I'm pretty sure that's the second time he's reserved. And I'm pretty sure there was issues both times. So Nimble Cat, Jennifer Lee and Vicious Vicar. What a trio. What a lineup. The Haas, the Alpine and the Sauber. Very three well-respected drivers in this community. And there goes Mad Riot on Real Aston Army. Is he going to go for that late lunge up the inside? He's absolutely not. And Slow P Gamer is using that DRS again. And back into the lead goes the Ferrari. Now Wizzy is going to go through on Shining Swarm. And now here comes Ladnock Ravini as well. And Mad Riot is through on Real Aston Army. And the Red Bull nearly going into the back of the Mercedes. Here comes Forza Ferrari. Did that compromise his exit? Ace Drift as well into the slipstream of Slow P Gamer. He'll use that DRS. He absolutely will go for the move around the outside. Is he going to get it done? He's not. Slow P Gamer stays ahead for now. And Shining Swarm being overtaken by the other McLaren. And Jennifer Lee and Forza Ferrari are going at it. Forza goes up the inside of Jennifer Lee. And there is a yellow flag waving, and that is Kevin Gamer at the back in the Williams, just sliding along the wall. I'm not sure what is going on there. He does have damage to the car, and he's got a 10-second time penalty. I don't know what he's doing. Don't like that. Don't like that, Kev. Oh! Slow P Gamer is into the wall. Oh, and he nearly come out in full. Oh, God. Slow P Gamer down into P14. Alfie Jennifer's already the champion. He won it in the sprint. So Kevin Gamer is going into the pit lane now. Oh, wow. Not good. Kevin's pace has been getting better and better, but then when he gets into the race, he always seems to have some issues. Here comes Ladnock Ravini on Shining Swarm. Side by side go the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Not the first time you'll have heard that in your lifetime. Forza Ferrari goes through as well. Both Red Bulls trying to make progress, but Shining Swarm puts a stop to that. And now he's going to come back at Ladnock Ravini. And Shining Swarm will try to come back at them. There goes Forza up the inside as he squeezes through. And this is getting very tasty. Here comes Jennifer through Latifi corner. And Jennifer Lee now battling with Forza Ferrari, who goes later on the brakes. And Nimblecat is going to go for the undercut here in Abu Dhabi. And Vicious Vicar will stay out. Doug is up to P7. Well, well, well. Where did Doug come from? Ace Drift now 3 seconds clear at the front. And this is what we were wanting to see. And we are getting the action. So it is calming down just a little bit. Tier 3 was absolute cinema. It was Ladnock Ravini up the inside of El Wizzy. They've collided. And that is not going to be happy between the two drivers. Here comes Shining Swarm now to try and pick up the pieces. And this is getting very tasty. All four of them going for it. Forza Ferrari up the inside of El Wizzy. There's a yellow flag. I think that might be to Pappy. And look at this. That is Forza again drifting through. And Ladnock Ravini is up to P2. They are 5 seconds behind Ace Drift, who is staying well out of the mix here. He does not want to get involved. Look at this DRS train. This is incredible. Jennifer Lee lets Doug through. And Doug, I think they've got an illegal overtake. They're trying to let each other back through. There goes Jennifer. Here comes Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot. And I think something's going on where one of them's got a penalty for something. And I'm not sure what is going on, but they have took themselves out of the DRS train. And now they'll have to catch back up to that McLaren of El Wizzy in front, the Portuguese driver. Oh, Shining Swarm. There goes Jennifer Lee now on Doug. What about Vicious Vicar? And there goes back up the inside. Goes Doug. Smashes into the Haas. And through goes Vicious Vicar. Through goes Mad Riot. The Constructors World Champions see an opening and take it. Forza Ferrari and Shining Swarm. Here we go again. And Shining Swarm just running a little bit wide there. But my goodness me, it is heating up in the desert. So, still 18 drivers on the grid. Kevin Gamer finally calls it a day after pitting again. I'm not sure what to do with Kevin Gamer. He seems like he's improving a lot, but Shining Swarm, Vicious Vicar and Jennifer Lee are all into the pit lane. Now, where does Nimble Cat come out in this? He went for the undercut. He's on the medium compound tyres. Honda VTEC makes a mistake. Nimble Cat cannot get caught up behind this Mercedes, and he won't do. But this is going to be the question of where does he come out with the undercut. And he is going to come out. And Tabapi's out. Oh, there's been a huge crash. Safety car. A huge crash. Who was that? I've seen 2 cars go off. Gertmeiser's got a penalty. Nimblecat has collided with Gertmeiser. Nimblecat's round. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What is going on here? Nimblecat, has he got damage? Yes, he's got damage. So Nimblecat, who's just pitted, gone for the undercut, has now smashed into Gertmeiser, got front wing damage and got a penalty as well. That is crazy. So drama at the end. Yeah, Nimble's left. I think he's just really, really pissed off with that. Somebody's just sped into the pit lane. And I'm not surprised. Nimble was on for a really good race. He gets taken out by Slow P Gamer in the sprint race, and then that happens in the feature race. I'm really not surprised with that. You wait all afternoon to have a race, and you get shafted like that. So all the other drivers are in the pit lane. So El Wizzy will lead. Let's have a look at the pit strategy now. El Wizzy is not pitted. He is not pitted. So Forza says El Wizzy passed him under the safety car. So we could see a different end result to these standings when it comes, especially in the sprint race. Oh, you know when I said there was 2 cars in the wall, and one of them was Tapapi, the other one was Kevin Gamer's AI car. safety car in this lap. Sorry, I'm just trying to... I just can't believe this, honestly. So El Wizzy will get us underway. Ace Drift, Ladnock Ravini and Forza Ferrari. Then comes Shining Swarm and Doug. And Forza Ferrari is through on his teammate. Ladnock Ravini maybe shoved aside there as Shining Swarm also gets through. 18 laps to go. So Ace Drift is going to move in front of his teammate of El Wizzy. So the McLaren's deciding to swap around. Here comes the Aston Martin up the inside. That's Mason on the two Saubers. Forza is through on El Wizzy. Now here comes Shining Swarm. Remember that McLaren has not pitted for fresh tyres. And up the inside of the Papaya. Now Ladnock Ravini and Doug. Doug goes through on the Red Bull, but the Red Bull will go later on the brakes here, surely. And they're just going to be patient. Oh, the Saubers! That is Mad Riot that has gone into the side of his teammate and nearly taken him out of the race. And that is Jennifer Lee and Gertmeiser that maybe got caught up in that as well. So a really huge mistake from Mad Riot that has caused a bit of a collision at the back here. And Mad Riot nearly taking out his teammate and half the field with him. Wow. But things happen, mistakes happen. So Ace Drift in front of Forza Ferrari and Shining Swarm. 1, 2, 3 here in Abu Dhabi. Oh my God. I cannot believe what I've just saw. That is absolutely crazy. How you can just drive out like that, it's just crazy. Forza Ferrari is now your race leader. Vicious Vicar is up to P6. El Wizzy is dropping, but he's going for that one stopper. And if he can stay with these drivers, it will really help him out. But Forza Ferrari is now your race leader on lap 12. Yeah, Alfie, it could be his first podium. I've got a lot to do after this race, a lot to do. And into the pit lane goes El Wizzy, so finally he is in. Yeah, I've got loads in the hour between tier 4 and tier 1. I've got loads to do. Even just like changing the tags on Twitch to F126 and 20 instead of 25 and just things like that. Here comes Ace Drift into the slipstream. And that is Slow P Gamer that is through on Mason 92. And Ace Drift is going to come back at Forza Ferrari. He'll have to go the long way round though. Forza will not give him the time of day here if he can help it, but Ace Drift is demanding it. But look at that, later on the brakes goes Forza and stays in front. Great racing from the pair of them. Gertmeiser is through and Andy Mack and Gertmeiser going toe to toe here. Gertmeiser, is Gertmeiser an AI? No. Ace Drift again on Forza. Look at this for racing. They are really going at it now. This is what we wanted to see. So back on that DRS. You can see just full throttle through here. Into the slipstream, he'll move over to the right hand side. Who's going to go later on the brakes? We'll see it. Look at the way he just brakes and then he lifts off, sends him skating. And Ace Drift has absolutely done him there. That is brilliant. Ace Drift is now your race leader. Shining Swan might even pick up the pieces. Here we go. The Mercedes driver with that DRS enabled around the outside. But the Red Bull will try and hold on to this one. Can he do it? He couldn't do it against the McLaren, but Forza Ferrari is back in front of the Mercedes. And that is how it's done on this occasion. Brilliant stuff. That was really good racing, that. Is the stream okay? Slow P Gamer is out. So Shining Swan fighting with Forza Ferrari. So my phone's running out of battery. Right, okay. So back to the racing, 16 out of the 29 laps. Yeah, well, the Monaco race is just boring now. It just really is. It's not even worth doing every year. Like, there's no overtakes. The only drama is like people are hoping for a safety car or hoping for something to happen. Like the most drama that we had was the track falling apart. Like, why do we need the track to fall apart to get any sort of action in the race? It's stupid. Oh my God, look at this. What is going on? The Mercedes and the Red Bull. And the Mercedes is Shining Swan and Forza Ferrari. Yeah, it's just like, usually you'd be like, oh yeah, there was, did you see that double overtake by Leclerc, or did you see that overtake by Hamilton, or, you know, Kimi Antonelli was unbelievable, weren't he, especially when he did the undercut and all that. There's something to talk about. Whenever it's Monaco, it's always, oh yeah, did you see the crash? Yeah. Oh, did you see the safety car? Yeah. Like, there's nothing, there's never anything about overtakes, because there's never any overtakes. It's always got to be something else that brings the excitement or the drama, never the racing. It's just crap. It's an awful track, Monaco. It shouldn't be on the calendar. It's just for the rich people to enjoy a weekend away and to show their wealth, and you know, and that's all it is. It's not even for the consumer. So Vicious Vicar on the back of Doug. Here we go down in towards turn 5. I mean, it doesn't even meet the requirements of Formula One's track regulations. It's just crazy. If they took Mirabao out, they'd probably get a few more overtakes in there, but then you're going at 190 mile an hour into the chicane at the bottom of that section, which is crazy. Mad Ryan nearly went into the back of his teammate again there, and the Aston Martin. So down in towards turn 9 we go. It is the Sauber and the Aston Martin. Oh, Nimble Cat's been kicked from the game. Let me try and get him back in. So into the pit lane goes the Aston Martin of Doug. Ace Drift now 3 seconds clear. Solely, yes. Tier 1 is doing 26 cars. I'm trying to get the overlays ready as well for the 26 cars. I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, we had to finish off the season, so there's nothing that we could do. We couldn't finish this season on the 26 cars. But because there's nothing to play for in Tier 1. Here comes Forza Ferrari on Andy Mack. And he's gone for the undercut here, Forza, so he does not want to get tied up in a battle with a Haas driver. And Andy Mack just backing out there. He's done, you know what? Big shout out to Andy Mack, you know. He's come in, he's never been here in F1 before, in F7 before, and he's just introduced himself. He's been a nice guy, he's been really decent on track, he's just raced when he can race, raced as much as possible, he's got involved in the chat and all that, and you know what, Matt, respect to him. I love people like that who just come in and just want to race, who just want to drive. They're not the quickest, they're not the fastest, they just want to come here and have some fun, and that is my type of driver right there. You know, that's just like me. I just want to come in, have some fun, enjoy the racing, and that's it. Look at the billboards. I changed the billboards whilst Tier 2 was on. I do need to update the billboards though. I did update one of them and put Vicious Vicar on him. So Shining Swarm into the pits and on the way out of the pit lane now. So Gert Meiser in front of Forza Ferrari. Oh, and he goes round, and that was very close. Mason 92. And look at this, they're going to go 3 wide. And the Aston Martin with Gert Meiser in the Racing Bull, and the McLaren of Ace Drift, who's on for an undercut, and they do tag. And Ace Drift will have to get the better exit if he needs to disperse of this Racing Bull. He'll get the DRS and off he goes. And now the chase is on. He's 58. Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of drivers that are in their 50s and 60s and 70s. You've got Jennifer Lee, Nimble Cat, Vicious Vicar, Andy Mack. You know, I love people that are of age and just like to come on Formula 1 on the game and sim race. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I would love nothing more than to be racing with one of my kids or my dad or whatever it might be. So yeah. Or I would love my dad to be able to go racing on a Sunday, you know, with his friends or whatever. Shining Swarm, Vicious Vicar, P5 and P6. Ladnock Ravina is now your race leader. Thank you for the follow. So the Red Bull with 9 laps to go is in the lead of the Grand Prix. Yeah, I've got a 16-year-old son doing his GCSEs. So Forza Ferrari in the Red Bull on the back of Ace Drift. 8 tenths is the gap. But who has got the fresher tyres? He got for the Ferrari, and Ace Drift went for the overcut, so he's going to have the better tyres till the end of the race. 9 laps remaining. Germeiser with Andy Mack and Mason 92 behind him. Then you've got the Ferrari of the real Aston Army. And Ace Drift setting the fastest lap of the race. What about this Aston Martin? Chasing down El Wizit. And it's been a really good race in Tier 4. A lot of racing that was questionable and, you know, not very good. I have invited Nimble. I don't know if he's here. So, here we go. Ladnock Ravini's in such a strong position. Anyway, real Aston Army with a pen, yeah. Sorry mate, I was just replying. What annoys me is when, like, I will let any driver race here. And if you want to race here, come and race here. It doesn't matter if you're quick, you're slow, whatever. It does not matter. We've got a tier for everybody. But when we give you an opportunity to race, and then you leave your car in AI and leave the race, and then we give you another chance to race, you kill somebody, leave your car in AI and leave the race. I mean... But yeah, when they race and then they just leave halfway through the race and just go, yeah, I can't bother finishing that. Like, it isn't open lobbies, you know what I mean? So, El Wizit will defend against Mad Riot. So Mad Riot going for the overtake. And he's going to get the better exit. He will get that DRS into the slipstream, moves over to the left hand side, and Mad Riot with the overtake on El Wizzy and up to P7 for the Kick Sauber driver. So a good overtake from the green machine. And then his dad, who was bidding for the championship. I tell you what, had he have got some decent points in the sprint, or if You know what? I'm thinking back at the last couple of races where the Hasses have helped. If Mad Riot had have swapped positions with Vicious Vicar in a couple of races coming to the end of the season, and the race finished like this, I tell you what, it would have been close, you know. It would have been really close. So, Vicious Vicar, I hope he finishes off with a bang. And obviously Forza does have a time penalty of 3 seconds, and so does Ladno Cavini of 10 seconds. And Jennifer Lee is the Drivers' Champion, but not by much. And I said that in Vegas it was going to be important, and Brazil. So Shining Swarm in the Mercedes, Vicious Vicar, then comes Doug in the Aston Martin, who's in P6. What a drive he's having on them hard compounds. Let's have a look at them. You can't see his, but let's have a look at Vicious Vicar's. Let's see whereabouts they're up to. Oh, he's on fresh heart, Mad Riot. Sorry, we need to go to Vicious Vicar. Yeah, 22%. So 26 of 29, and we're gonna finish the season off here in Tier 4. What a season it's been. It's been the first season of Tier 4, by the way, and it's took a while to get to where we wanted to be, but now we're there. Jennifer Lee is gonna have to defend against Gert Meiser. And Jennifer Lee in the Haas with Gert Meiser in the Racing Bull behind him. Down towards turn 6 and then in towards turn 7, and Gert Meiser is in front of Jennifer Lee, and that is a smooth overtake. Then you've got Mason 92. Will Mason go for the move? And Jennifer is going to come back down the inside of turn 9. Jennifer holding on, but Gert Meiser doing a great job. This could be a really good finish for Gert Meiser to the season as well. Shining Swarm in P4. He is on for a podium. Shining Swarm is on for a podium. This is amazing stuff. Gert Meiser around the outside of that Alpine that just pulls over. That is Nimblecat. Is that his AI or is he in his car? I think he might be in his car because I don't think his car would have pulled over otherwise. It's a real shame for Nimble, it really is. He doesn't deserve to end the season like this. Mad Riot on the back of Doug. This is for P6. He's on fresher tyres. And Mad G into the slipstream. He'll open that rear wing, move to the left-hand side. And Mad Riot, the Constructors World Champion, will move ahead of the Aston Martin driver. Then you've got Shining Swarm going for a move on the Red Bull of Forza. Wow, that was close. Shining Swarm does not want to throw away a podium here. All he needs to do is stay within 3 seconds of Forza Ferrari. And he's risking throwing it all away. He needs to be careful. He really does. Vicious Vicar showing some pace here at the Yas Marina circuit. This is what we all wanted to see. Here now is Mason with Jennifer Lee down in P11 behind him. So Mason picks up another 3-second time penalty for his 6th track limit. So that will cost him. Jennifer Lee will move back in front of him. Shining Swarm is still trying to take the position. We are on the penultimate lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in Tier 4 to end the season off. And then I've got to run off and try and get some things sorted before Tier 1. And the Red Bull of Forza is just defending at the moment. This is really good stuff. What about Doug on Mad Riot? And Doug goes wheel to wheel and the Aston Martin driver is through on the Sauber. Andy stays ahead. Now Shining Swarm will come back at the Red Bull down in towards turn 9. They nearly tangle. Shining Swarm knows that Forza has a time penalty. And whilst all of this is going on, Vicious Vicar is edging closer and closer. Shining Swarm trying to switch it back up the inside, but he can't do it. Mad Riot, on the other hand, is still battling along with Doug. Jennifer picks up a 3-second time penalty. And it is heating up at the end of this Grand Prix. Harry, I will see if we've got any seats, mate. Oh, wow. Shining Swarm. He's about to throw away a podium here. And they go on to the very final lap of this race. And Vicious Vicar is about to catch up. And Vicious Vicar can see the podium in the distance. He can see the podium that he would get to end his Formula 1 sim racing career. Mad Riot moves in front of Doug and they collide again. And that was Doug this time, and here comes Shining Swarm. Vicious Vicar will have a front row seat to this, as Shining Swarm does try and overtake Forza Ferrari. Down in towards turn 6 and 7. The Red Bull driver and the Mercedes. Vicious Vicar is there. He's with them now. Shining Swarm will try and go for the move on Forza. He wants it on track. He does not want it by default. Here comes Vicious Vicar around the outside. Shining Swarm dives in. Vicious Vicar will move around the outside. And Vicious Vicar in the Sauber is through on his very final race here at Formula 7 Racing. The Mercedes and the Red Bull go toe to toe. But Vicious Vicar is coming through. Forza and Shining Swarm have collided. Forza and Shining Swarm have collided here in Abu Dhabi. But it is Ace Drift that wins, and Mad Riot has smashed into both of them. Here comes Doug. There's absolute carnage at the end of this race. But Ace Drift wins here in Abu Dhabi. Vicious Vicar has taken a P2 to end his sim racing career. Ladno Cravini on the podium. Mad Riot takes P4. Doug, with his highest finish of the season, takes P5. What an end to the season. I do feel for Shining Swarm though. My goodness me, Shining Swarm deserved a podium there. I'm just having a look, 25. My goodness, the championship. Wow. How close was that? You just got to think about the other races. But he will end it a very happy man. He'll end it with a podium. So you have it on the top step. I'm out of breath, Mason. So there you have it. Let's go through it. So your race winner for the feature race is Ace Drift with the fastest lap as well. And he will take the victory. Vicious Vicar. He's ending to what's been an amazing career. Amazing Formula 7 career and a sim racing journey. Vicious Vicar will end it on top with a P2 and a podium here in Abu Dhabi. Then comes Lad Nokravini on the podium in P3, Mad Right in P4, Doug P5, El Wizzy P6, Shining Swan Forza, Andy Mack in P9. What an ending for him as well. What a race, what an ending. Right, I've got about 30 minutes before I set up for Tier 1. I've got a few things to do, a few roles to change, but yes. Thank you all so much, everybody. Thank you for an incredible season. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in to support Tier 4. Thank you to all the Tier 4 drivers. A massive, massive shout out to Vicious Vicar. A massive shout out to Jennifer Lee. Congratulations on an amazing Drivers' Championship. Jennifer Lee is the world champion. The Constructors' Champions are Sauber. But a big shout out to Vicious Vicar on his retirement from Formula 7 racing and sim racing. From this moment on, it's been an absolute pleasure to call your races. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. We'll be back very shortly for Tier 1, and I will see you very shortly, guys. Take care, everybody.